Okay, so let's get a domain. First thing we need to do is pick a domain. We need to pick a domain name. Now remember, the domain name is the part that goes up here, the thing you type in. It's like the name of your company or whatever. However you want people to find you. You want something simple, obviously. Now that's getting more and more tricky as we're getting less and less domain names. Only one person can own a domain name at a time, so um, they're getting used up. So there are some tricks though to finding a good domain name. What I've done here is I'm on a website just called domain.com. I don't know anything about this website, but it's one that will help you search for domains. There are a million of these. The main thing I'm going to do is not buy a domain on this website because I'm going to show you a trick to get a domain for free in a minute. But I just want to use this site to help me narrow in on something. So I'm going to search for a domain here, and let's see. What's something I can search for? Let's search for, I don't know, Paris. I have a map of Paris on my wall. So let's say I want to have paris.com. So I'm going to search for Paris. So it's doing a little search for me. And it says paris.com is taken, .net is taken, .org is taken, .biz is taken, .co is taken, .info is taken, .me, .mobi, .name, .tv, .us. Those are all taken. That means I can't buy them. But let's walk through these. So these are the .com, .net, .org. These are called top-level domains. I sometimes call them the suffix, the end of the thing, the stuff that comes after the dot. TLD, sometimes you'll see written out, TLD for top-level domain. .com is by far the most common. And if you can, I would recommend getting a .com. That's the best one. Most people just know .com. It's the .com. .net, also perfectly fine. It's not as ideal as .com, but if you can get, like your name .net, that's also good. .net, I think, is pretty standard. There's really no difference between .com and .net other than it's, I guess, more common to see .com, but .net is just as good. .org, now a lot of people think that .org is reserved for organizations, maybe nonprofit organizations, stuff like that. It's not. You can buy .org. Anyone can buy .org. You can get your name .org if you want. However, there is still a kind of stigma around .org in that people think that it means an organization and that only organizations can get them. So if you got, your name .org, it might not be ideal because people might assume certain things about what you're selling or buying or doing with your website that maybe isn't accurate because you're a .org. So I would avoid the .org. But just so you know, it is available. I mean, you can buy a .org just fine. The rest of these are some of the newer ones. .biz, I don't like .biz. These TLDs because I don't know why. They just seem like, I don't know, kind of shady to me. They're not. I mean, they're just like the rest of them, but I just don't like them. .co, .info, .me, .mobi. Mobi kind of implies a mobile website, which we're going to have. I mean, we're going to end up with a website that works best on computers and on mobile devices. We'll talk about that near the end of the class, how to make sure your site is looking good on a mobile browser. But, so you don't see these very often. .name, that's just kind of weird. .tv implies a TV show, I guess. And .us is the country code. Every country has a country code that you can use if you want. Here, for me, it's .us. Other countries have different something something as their country code. So all these are taken. Now there are more TLDs that just became available. There's tons of them, actually. And they're going to be kind of slowly being rolled out. You can actually see some of them on this website here. I could get paris.club. That's already taken. But paris.expert is actually sort of available. So .expert, .guru, .ninja, that's a new thing. There's tons of these, actually. You can get tons of different stuff. Was just opened up. .reviews, .solutions, .tips, .today, .works, .zone. There's more. There's hundreds of them. But let's go back to this Paris.ninja, or actually Paris.expert. The reason I said it's sort of available is because look at the price. Most of these, are $9 or $10. This one is $600. Why? Probably because what they mean by premium here is that the domain is actually not available necessarily. It's been bought. Someone owns it, but they are willing to sell it. They basically bought it to sit on it and hold on to it until someone wants it. And when someone wants it, they're willing to sell it for $600. So to me, that's a little bit too rich for my blood. So to me, that's basically unavailable. Let's go down here where it has domain ideas. Now, any of these types of websites will do this. They'll give you these ideas. So here are some stuff that's available. Cheapparis.net. So if I was making a website about like travel tips, it might not be terrible. Cheapparis.net's available for $9. I could buy that. Grandparis.org is available for $9. I could add that. Now, this one has a hyphen in it, Grand-Paris. Important to remember when you're picking a domain name, hyphens are A-OK. You can use hyphens. They're just about the only punctuation you can use. You can't use dots because we have the dot TLD, so the .com, the .net, .org. There can't be a dot really anywhere else in your domain. You can have hyphens, but you can't really have any other punctuation. So, but you might consider, your name -art or your name -music or whatever .org. Those are okay. I mean, they're not as good as having just your name, but if your name is Bob Smith, you probably can't get bobsmith.com, but you might be able to get bobsmith-art.com. So consider using a hyphen. Loveparis.org is available. That's crazy. That makes me almost want to buy it like right now, but I'm not going to. First person that sees this video and wants to make a little bit of an investment, go buy loveparis.org for $9, and then see how it goes. Parisdesign.org, that's available. If you're starting a design company and wanted to call it Paris, that would be an incredibly good domain name. And a good name for a design company. Okay, well, let's find something else that might be more available. Let's try, what's something? Looking around my room for ideas. Coaster book. Coaster book. Okay, so somebody owns coasterbook.com. Wonder what's there. We could go look, but let's not. But .net, .org, .biz, these are all available. So I could buy toasterbook.net if I wanted to. Let's look at some of their suggestions. If I really want a .com, I don't know where they got that. ABC Ostera Views. It's weird. So they're kind of randomly generated. Coaster Shop is, but these are $3,000. I'm not going to do that. Atlantic Coaster Book, Beverage Coaster Book, coasterbook.biz. Anyway, there's a lot that are available that are just off that. So use a site like this, have it generate some names. If nothing else, check if the .com's available and you can get it. Don't buy from this website because I'm going to show you how to get a free one in just a minute. When we set up the domain, we're going to set up our domain and hosting at the same time, and that'll get us a free domain in the way that we're going to do it. But this is a good way to just kind of search and think about your ideas. So the main tips are try to keep it as short as possible. Try to have it be something that will roll off your tongue, something that you can say to someone. You can say, coasterbook.com, go there. Or coaster-book.com. That's actually not terrible to say. People are getting used to hearing that kind of thing with a hyphen in it. Remember, hyphens are okay, but no other punctuation. Also, take a look at it a couple times. Like if you're going to say coaster book, if that's going to be my website, then make sure that where the words connect, don't accidentally spell something really hilarious. There are a lot of famous examples of this. They're almost all pretty dirty, so I'm not going to like point any out. But like let's say the word terb, T-E-R-B, was some kind of dirty word, then Coasterbook might not be a great domain name because I've got this weird word that kind of sticks out in the middle of it. And a lot of times when you just write your domain, people like see the thing they're not supposed to see. So just watch out for that. Just look at your domain a couple times, show it to some friends, say this is what I'm going to get. Does that look weird to you? Sometimes it's hard to see on your own. Also, capital letters don't matter. So Coasterbook and Coasterbook are the exact same domain. But you can use capital letters to sometimes make your domain read a little bit better. So when you print it like on a business card, you might capitalize the B in book. It's not going to matter. It's going to be exactly the same as if it was a lowercase. Same thing with the C. But if someone types it into their browser as capital letters, that's okay. It'll still go to the same spot. So we can sometimes use capital letters just to make it easier to read, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to register it as capital letters. They're largely irrelevant. So a couple things to think about with your domain. So find a good domain. Pick one that you're really into. Make sure you've got a good .com, .net, something like that, and it's available. And once you have it, once you've decided what you want, then hop on over to the next video and we'll start getting all registered and set up. Hey everyone. So from time to time I'm going to do this thing. This is really kind of meta what you're seeing here. I'm actually in the middle of editing this video that you just watched and realized that there's one thing that I wanted to throw into this discussion that I skipped over in this video. So sometimes you'll see me do this throughout this class where I realized there was something that I didn't quite nail and I want to go back and get it, and there's not a good place to edit it in, so I'm just going to throw it at the end. I'm not too proud to say that, I forgot something. It happens. So the thing I wanted to throw into this is a lot of people ask me when they're looking for domains, what's to stop a website from grabbing a domain that I'm searching for? So let's say you search for Coasterbook, I guess, and coasterbook.com is available, and that's a really good domain. So the website that you're searching for it on latches onto it and buys that domain, and then the next time you go to search for it, it comes up as one of these premium $5,000 domains. What's to stop one of these websites from doing that? So the short answer is nothing. They could do it. The long answer is I don't think they really are. That would be, these websites would be holding on to so many domain names that they're not really doing that. Now, that being said, there are rumors of GoDaddy doing that. So when you're searching for domains, I would stay away from GoDaddy for this reason and other reasons that I mentioned earlier. But this came out about a year ago that I don't know if it was rumor or if they were busted for doing it. I don't even want to speculate. But so I don't know how true it is, but the rumors were that GoDaddy was doing this, where you would search for a domain on GoDaddy, and if you didn't buy it right then, they would buy it, and then it would come up as one of these $5,000 premium ones the next time you searched for it. So just stay away from GoDaddy, but the rest of the sites, I've never heard of any of the other sites doing it, and I don't really think you have anything to worry about with that. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in because a lot of students ask me that question. So there you have it. Really nothing to worry about, but stay away from GoDaddy.